or anyone is missing? Performance, I don't know which language. Tell me right now. So no one, I think. Everyone is there. Akshata, Ankita, and Ganesh, sir, and Subham. These are 163. Vishal, Ashwin, Sanjay, Harshada, Vishal, Ashwin. And one more is Manoj. Manoj ko छोड़ो, वो तो these are from 162. Okay. And remaining Devendra, Anuj, and Ankush. Right. These are from 157. So total, I think currently, who is absent here today? Anuj, Vishal, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is absent? Like
सागर नहीं
14
आ
is
रहा है।
Sagar. Another one? Sagar. If we count, okay, Sagar and
Abhinav.
Manoj.
Abhinav.
Abhinav name, I think there is no name of Abhinav. No, Abhinav name ही नहीं है ये. ठीक है. Okay, so total currently 14 is joined, na? 14 engineers are joined currently in this batch.
Yes, ma'am.
So Sanjay and Harshada, in this batch, in this PHP.NET batch, uh, you know what is Web API, what is .NET, what is that, EF core approach. You know anything about that? Don't know. See guys, already in this batch students, I've already told them while I'm talking, please respond. If you two are fresher and if you are new in this batch, then you please just put that in habit, okay? When I'm asking something, you have to reply.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I will not wait for the your means you are in silent. I will be wait for the answer. No, this will not happen. You have to answer and you have to cooperate in this batch. And you have to communicate proactive also. So what I told, just tell me. Do you know about this web API or not? Or EF core
Yeah.
approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what is web API, Sanjay?
It is an application programming interface.
No, that is a definition. But basically,
Uh,
web API is using in web.
we can make
Hmm.
we have performed that one that employee payroll we have performed that and we are
Okay.
debates.
That API you are talking about.
Yes, yes.
So at that time, which template you are choosing for creating the application?
What mean?
While creating that employee parallel API, na, which application you are selecting? Which
Application
template?
that HTML I think so.
HTML.
Yeah.
No, in
And
C, Visual Studio C
okay,
project,
yeah, Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio.
which template you are selecting? Visual Studio is one software here, or one template. यही प्रॉब्लम होता है. एक पेज खत्म नहीं था दूसरे पेज को डाल देते हैं, यही प्रॉब्लम होता है. ठीक है गाइस, चेंज पासवर्ड सबका खत्म हो गया. चेंज पासवर्ड
यस मैम।
Yes, ma'am.
क्या था इशू अंकित?
मैम मैंने शायद से ना कुछ चेंजेस किए थे स्टार्टअप में, तो वो मैंने सब ना ऐप डॉट यूज राउटिंग और एंड पॉइंट्स के बीच में रखा था सबको, तो मैंने शायद उसे चेंज किया है मैंने अभी फिर, तो अब वर्क कर रहा है वो।
Same with authorization, it's working, no?
या
And to sir?
मैम मेरा 401 तो रिजॉल्व हो गया, लेकिन एक दूसरा एक्सेप्शन आ रहा था उसको रन करते टाइम। ऐड नोट काम कर रहा है लेकिन उसमें एक्सेप्शन आ रहा है, सेव पासवर्ड।
काम कर रहा है, एक्सेप्शन आ रहा है मींस?
ऐड नोट, जो ऐड नोट कर रहे थे हम, वो काम कर रहा है, लेकिन जो सेव पासवर्ड है उसमें एक्सेप्शन आ रहा है पहली लाइन में, नल रेफरेंस एक्सेप्शन। पर एटलीस्ट वो
चेंज
प्रोग्राम में
पासवर्ड
अंदर
वर्क नहीं हो रहा है, मतलब अपडेटिंग नहीं हो रहा है पासवर्ड।
नहीं, वो पहली लाइन में ही उसमें एक्सेप्शन आ रहा है, लेकिन एटलीस्ट अब प्रोग्राम में घुस रहा है। पहले तो ऑथराइज ही नहीं हो रहा था,
ठीक
अब
है,
ऑथराइज
डिबग करके फिर से चेक करो, ठीक है? नहीं तो डॉक्टर से मैं चेक करते हैं, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी सबका तो हो गया है, ठीक है?
वो ठीक है, लेकिन मैं डीबग करा था तो पहली लाइन में ही एक्सेप्शन था, तो
एक्सेप्शन क्या था, एरर क्या था?
नल रेफरेंस।
नल रेफरेंस मतलब तुम्हारा, जो मैं भी कल देख रही थी ग्रुप में, तो शेयर किया था, आई थिंक तुम्हारा होगा। तो तुम नल रेफरेंस दैट मींस तुमको उसको नहीं मिल रहा है, वो जो यूजर आईडी उसको नहीं मिल रहा है, इसकी वजह से तो पर्टिकुलर टोकन डाल रहे हो ना, जो ईमेल डाल रहे हो, ईमेल के बाद उसको जो टोकन तुम डाल रहे हो ऑथराइज में,
यस,
ऑथराइज से हम लोग पहले काउंट करेंगे ना यूजर आईडी कुछ डाले ना, यूजर आईडी एंड ईमेल से जनरेट करे टोकन,
ईमेल, हाँ
उसको
ईमेल से।
नल मिल रहे हैं।
अच्छा,
तो थोड़ा कुछ सिली मिस्टेक होगा, चेक करो। नल रेफरेंस का मीनिंग यही है, उसको कुछ जो टेबल के एंटिटी के अंदर जो तुम कॉलम ले हो, उसके प्राइमरी की है कुछ भी, किसको नहीं मिल रहा है, नल मिल रहा है उसको,
अच्छा, ठीक है।
नहीं तो वो ईमेल एग्जिस्ट नहीं होगा। चेक करो अच्छे से, नहीं तो आफ्टर दिस सेशन आई विल चेक, ओके?
यस, डाउट में
तो
डेफिनेटली वो चेक करूँ।
add note is working perfectly. Ankita,
Oh, ma'am, error is coming. I think
but in your case everything was completed na yesterday?
change password is completed, but it has taken so much time because one
Add
error.
note is not working means you have not completed yet, or some error you are facing?
No, I had completed yesterday only, but errors are coming. Like when I solve one error, second error will come now. Came now.
What about others? Aksata, Payal, Aswin?
Ma'am, I had not completed.
Aswin?
I'm getting an error, ma'am.
Ma'am, I'm also
Where?
getting an add note, ma'am.
Authorized, have you done the authorized? I think Akshata and Aswin, you have not added the service lifetime, that air transient part in the startup. Have you added that?
Yes, ma'am, I've added, ma'am. Then also it's showing the error.
Okay, Ankita, just present your screen.
Yes, ma'am.
So you will see the next thing, okay? Delete and update, I will just tell you. And one more from the separate API, how we can write, that also I will tell you. Remaining thing, you guys have to do by
Ma'am,
yourself.
this is
I've,
the
I've done for the delete API, ma'am.
Okay, Ankita, I will check. So you are getting this error, na? So this is telling, you can see the column user ID something, the conflict, it's showing the conflict. I think foreign key you have not passed the correctly. I told na, the name, the primary key user ID, that must be same, you have to put in the node entity, and the spelling must be same also. Otherwise it will not take. The user ID is a foreign key that is conflicting the related to that error it's coming. You can see, you can read also. FK underscore nodes underscore user ID. This is your conflict error. Just check. Otherwise migration issue, delete the migration, again do it. Okay.
okay.
Which you are getting the issue, so I could not tell in the system.
Only I have to do like firstly, so then only the name will change, no, ma'am?
See, if currently you are facing, just check first of all the name and everything is correct or not in the entity. If it is correct, then check what is the error. If it is not correct, then again delete the migration and do it again.
Okay.
Okay, Ankit, just present your screen here. Ankita, just stop this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So Sanjay and Harshada, we've completed our web API. We are just doing the FundooNote project. Okay, the FundooNote. I think you can open in your system if you are having the laptop. Google.com
Yes, ma'am.
site is there. Okay, we are just
Yes.
following the same procedure, same logic. We are creating the APIs, backend APIs in .NET Core. Okay, if someone is asking in which language we are doing, so .NET and which framework, so is it a .NET framework or .NET Core? So you will answer the .NET Core. So currently we are using .NET Core and we are selecting the template .NET Core Web API. Okay. After that, the project has been created. Then we are selecting the three-tier architecture: repository layer, common layer, FundooNotes, controller part. Okay. So in that we're creating, giving the project reference first, then the dependency injections. Okay. Dependency injection means each layer, you can see business layer, common layer, and FundooNote. Three folder is there. And this business and common layer we're creating separately as a project. And in for this, we are taking the class library as a project. Okay. Class library template. Particular business layer and the common layer. Okay. For these two and repository layer also. For these three, we are taking the template class library. Okay, after that, we are giving the dependency injection. Dependency injection means one class or method is depending to another. Okay, for that, we are creating some interfaces and classes in each layer. Then we are just giving the reference.
Reference.
And for configuration purpose, we are writing some connection string to SQL Server and adding the authentication and add this transient. A transient means what? For giving the dependency injection, for giving reference from one class to another. So this thing we are writing in the startup.cs. Okay, and and you can see if you know if you heard about the term Postman. In Postman, we are previously testing the all the APIs. But we can do in using Postman also. But why we are not using Postman? Because this is a separate project. This is your .NET Visual Studio Editor. But if you run it Postman and you have to copy the URL and then you have to put, then to select the get or post API. If it is some header, you have to put then header you have to pass, or some bearer token, then bearer token you have to pass, or any type of auth key or something. But if you connecting this project directly interconnect with some any tool, so that we can while you run it now, then it will be directly open in one front end API like Swagger. Swagger is nothing but is working the API, testing the APIs. So you've written the code of Swagger, okay, Swagger UI and Swagger gen something internal configuration internal codes we have written in our startup.cs, and connecting to SQL Server, we are connecting those related lines also we have added in startup.cs. You can see this thing, okay. And in your employee payroll, previously, just we are talking about that. In that, we are doing the ADO.NET. But currently, we are using SQL Server DB, but we are using EF Core approach. What is EF Core? EF Core means entity framework. Okay. What is the meaning of entity framework? So basically, previously or in nowadays also some in other technology, we are talking the table. Table is nothing but a collection of rows and columns.
Column. Yeah.
So that table we are telling is entity. Okay. So previously, in other words, we can say table is also an entity. Only the name is like someone's name is multiple names. So the entity and table both are same, but in other database or other database approaches, we are just telling table to entity. Like in Power Apps, one technology is there. We are not telling about table or something. We are telling that
Entity.
to table. We are telling about that entity and database. Okay, here we are considering as a entity.
Okay.
And in entity, the first step is we are not using data first approach. We are using code first approach. So code first means you have to do code first. Data first means database first. It's database. You have to create first create database name, then create table name, then you have to provide your whatever the fields you require, then you have to write insert query, delete query, update query, select query, whatever thing. That is data first approach. And code first means what? First, in this project to .NET, this FundooNote project, you will connect the string first, connection string of the SQL Server. How to connect in native.NET, you guys know? Okay, the local DB data store equal to local DB, or if it is server name, and you can write the server name. If someone having local, I think two types. You can use on-base authentication, another is server, that one. Okay. So for
Yeah.
server, something is different, but if it is local, then local DB. And in
Yeah.
catalog, you have to write the database name. In
Yeah.
code first, only you have to create the database name. Like here, we are creating FundooDB. Okay, FundooDB is the database name.
Mhm.
Then in this project, in this the main folder FundooNode, in that app setting.json is one file is already exist. In that we are creating one key, that is connection string, and connection string is one object. Okay, in that we are writing key value. Key is nothing but your FundooNotes, and value is this thing, the connection string. Then the FundooDB, the key we are putting in startup.cs. In the add, you have to write one more line, that is the add db context. Okay, add db context, then SQL client, some package also you have to install. Then you have to provide this key, FundooDB key. So
Okay.
if you don't write this don't add these things, then your project will not work. Okay, go to startup.cs. So in 4039 number line, you can see add db context, FundooDB context, and the connection thing is FundooDB. Just we have seen in the app setting. Okay. So before that, we have to create FundooDB context, because we are following the EF core approach. So that's why we are creating FundooDB context. Okay, class. In that also, we have to take some db context, internal class. Okay, we have to inherit that. Then in that we have to create the db set, like we are creating in the SQL create table name. Here we have to create the public db set, then the name is user or something. So basically there we are creating by some SQL commands, SQL queries, but here by some model class we are going to create the entities, like in the repository layer one entity folder is there. No, this is for the operation purpose. Okay, so this entity folder, you can see node.cs, user.cs is there. In while we are creating the tables, na, create table, then what, the int user id, then identity 1 comma 1 auto increment, then first name worker 2, last name worker 2, these things we are providing there. So here we are writing, we are taking one class. That class we are considering or calling as a model class. Here this repository, this is entity model class. To giving the user id, or to what, to mentioning the user id as a primary key. In C# .NET Core Web API, you are providing the key and database generated. This goes to 12 and 13 number line. This is nothing but the annotation part. In annotation, we are writing in square bracket. In the public int user id, first name, these are some information. These are some, you can say, fields of this particular user class. Okay.
Yeah.
In any of the class, if you are in the above, just above, if you are writing something in square bracket, that is considering as a data annotation, or
And
a regex part also. So in square bracket, if you write key, that is considered as a primary key of user id. And if you are writing required, then that is if you are providing the user id as a required field, hence we are providing some validation. So this is some cool concept in the .NET, so that you can directly add by using some square bracket or something. But if you are doing some other technology, then you have to write the if block, if this is equal to not first name, or this is not greater than this particular quantity, or the name is not equal to this pattern. They have to write some lines, more lines of code. That is very fancy. But here, this is very easy, very readable concept. You can add only in square bracket something for validating. Otherwise, you can write in your own logic also in the controller section. And in repository layer, business layer, you could not print something. Okay, we have to return. But some error handling or something, we have to write in controller section. And for handling purpose, we have to use try catch block. And for try catch, in the catch block, we are throwing the error. Suppose some error while running it, some error is coming, and it will be come in the catch block throw EX. In the EX, the error will be displayed. Okay.
Yeah, message
So
will
for
be-
this, we have created up to the user controller. User controller. So basically, the flow is if you are hitting the this project, and if you are executing the project, then one API is coming. Okay, the URL is coming. Localhost, then 44360 port number
Yeah.
something. Okay,
Yes.
class, then your API name. Okay, controller name, then uh, see, because by default if you create, then weather forecast will come, and other APIs if you need, then for that we have to add that add transient method in the startup first. And Windows authentication, you must have to false it, you have to make it false, enable it false, and the anonymous you have to make it true. These things you have to know, otherwise it will not work. Okay, and Swagger, you can see launch URL, that also you have added. Then comes to user controller. In the user controller, by default, weather forecast you couldn't find while creating the project. The next time you have to create the user controller.cs, okay, by right clicking add controller, empty controller. And in this controller section, you have to add one controller base class, okay, that is in the inbuilt class, you can say, okay, for handling some request, we are using this base class. Like in reference exception, also we are using some null reference, null exception, arithmetic options. So those are some
Exception class.
already internal classes. In C sharp is giving you, providing you some internal classes for particular means thing, like exception for this, that is different. For controller, this is different. Like for DB context, DB context is already one class is available. So for controller also, controller base is available. And you can see in the above 13 and 14 API controller, then root. Root is basically for what from one page to another page. If you are going from one page to another page, the data we are sending, then we can use routing concept. Or the another thing also, uh, suppose two API is insert, like add user also insert and add not also insert. Then how could you differentiate that? If you write only HTTP post, then you could not verify that. So HTTP post, HTTP put, these are some HTTP verbs, VREVs. Okay, so this is very important question. Okay, in any interview they are asking. So there are four: HTTP post, put, delete, and put for updating, put, deleting, delete. Okay, these things. And if you are uh, for differentiating which API it is for same HTTP post, then you have to mention after the bracket double quote register or add node, or if it is get node or login, whatever you have to mention. That is, you can differentiate the URL. Okay, that is nothing but the routing concept. And if you asking normally what is routing, then from one page to another page, we are sending the data. Okay, that is nothing but the routing concept. And in startup also, you have to use the app.use routing. It is already available. Okay, for enabling routing. These are the things we have already. And add transient. Add transient, you have to add. You can see in 39 to 44 number line, we have added I user BL, node BL. This why? Because user is different entity, node is different entity. Means tables different, both are different table, and node is relating to user by in the node entity we have the user ID as a foreign key. Okay, these things we have added. And if you don't provide this, then it will not come. Okay, this is, remember, this is the very important thing. Then authentication, we have added some lines of code. So currently we have completed the user controller. In user controller also there are so many things: add user, login user. In login user we are doing the authentication. So authentication is we are putting some sensitive fields or columns, credentials, we are providing the data. Okay, then we are generating some like the token or some OTPs related to that. But here we are creating the tokens by providing the credentials, email, and another is the password. Okay, the email password is coming from your table entity. And how it is coming? Before that, you have to register. When you register, that will be stored in your user table, the name, phone number, last name, everything. Okay. Then in the login section, you have to provide the email and same password. If it is existent, then it will be providing one token. For that, we have already written one method that is generate JWT token. So for authentication purpose, we have one concept that is JWT bearer token. In other language also, if you heard in Python or in PHP or in JavaScript or in React, so there are some different concepts, but JWT token, bearer token only using, but syntax wise, logical wise, it will be different. Okay. Here also we are using, and this thing you can find in C sub kernel side. Okay. See, if you find, if you search .NET Core Web API authentication, and then your what is controller, what is API dependency, all those things you can find in documentation part also. Okay, and you can find by yourself, or you can take from help from any of your teammates also. Okay, you find this, and these things will come. Go to the code. Mhm. So this is for the authentication purpose. Then come to the next, that is forget password. So forget password. So basically in normal way, okay, real time scenario, if you are forgetting your any application, for example, any of your suppose dot SBI net banking you are using, na, not net banking, everyone is using. So you are forgetting the password. So if you click that, then one OTP is generating. OTP is providing to your registered phone number, I think. Right? Phone number, na? Or phone
Yes,
number or
yes.
mail ID. They are providing
Yeah.
that OTP. By using that OTP, you have to provide that OTP. Then one different page is coming, resetting the password or changing the password. Then you can change your password. So same concept we are using in this FundooNote application. Okay. So for that, for sending the OTP or sending something sensitive related token or something, we are using one concept MSMQ. MSMQ is nothing. You can find MSMQ in system kernel also if you search in Google. Okay. We are
Okay.
providing that. We are following that concept only. So for that, we are using some MSMQ class. Okay. At MSMQ, we are using typecasting that MSMQ class. These are some inbuilt. Okay, inbuilt means what? Already C sub is providing some classes already existed, which is
Okay.
custom. What class you have created, like right click and you are creating and providing the name, that is user class, user rl.cs. These are your custom class, but already existed class we are calling it inbuilt or internal classes. Okay. The same way message queue is already there. We are creating the object of queue. Then for sending purpose, we are creating another class that is email service, and in that we are creating one method send mail. Okay. For sending mail, SMTP client, this is also inbuilt class we are using, and we are, because SMTP port number is 587, we are providing. Then using that object, where because those some methods you have to enable, some methods you have to write, then only your code will work. So for that, we are using enable SSL. Okay, then use credential true. Then in network credential, these two Gmail and password you have to create. One more Gmail account you have to create. Okay, Google account you have to create, like normally how you are creating the Gmail account.
Yes,
You
yes.
have to create for testing purpose, and for that you don't have to provide the two-step verification process. No need to verify that. If you verify, that will be not that will be secure, and we need less secure app. Okay, if it is less secure, then will be your mail will be sent. Otherwise, some SNTP related error will be come in the API section. Okay. Then in the body section, we are writing whatever we needed. Then because we need the token, so basically we are providing the parameters. Okay, and those parameters we can find in the forget password API. Then we are writing the code MSMQ by using MSSQ class. We are uh, sending the mail. Mail means in the mail the body to, and what are the concept we need to have written in the forget password API. Okay, forget password method in the logic we have written. Then for forget password, it will come to the BL, because in the BL we are providing the reference of RL, and in controller we are providing the reference of BL. So this is the project reference we have to give in the beginning of creating the three layers. Okay. And whatever the interfaces and classes we are creating the repository layer, because repository is your root. There you are writing the logic or the connecting the database related things we are writing there. Like you are writing in the employee also, add employee, address book, everything you are creating. Then
Yes, yes.
you are writing some other code. Same way you are writing this consistent repository. Then we are connecting. These are some interfaces. We are creating the methods first. Then we are implementing those interfaces in the classes. Then it will be go to the business layer. Okay, business layer we are using same thing, same interfaces, same methods. Okay, you can see these methods also same as usual in the repository layer interface classes. And coming to the user BL. In user BL, what we are doing, we are creating the object of user RL. Okay, like I user RL user. You are creating the interface user RL object. We are initializing first. Okay, how to initialize class space the object name. But we are
Yes.
declaring it. Not sorry, not initializing. I'm declaring it. Initialize means you are providing some data or creating object means you are using new keyword and creating the instantiate or the objects. First
Yes.
of all, you have to create iUserRL that is already created in repository layer. And in the constructor, you have to provide that, you have to set that user RL equal to user RL. Then by using that user RL object, you will call the methods. What method or logic you have written in the repository layer. So you can see this dot user RL dot add user. Add user you have written in the repository layer. Same thing, the all the things you have written. Then next is controller section. In controller, same thing, we are creating the object of BL. Okay, here we are creating the object of RL, but in controller we are creating the object of BL. You can see public, I user BL space one object name is BL. And in the constructor same way you have to provide that BL also. Then in controller you have to write some methods. Public this is a BL of the, you can see this is instantiate of user I user BL class. Okay, I is why I, because this is interface class.
Enter. Yeah.
Okay.
Enter.
And we are giving the object that is user BL and FundooDB context. In this FundooDB context, we are creating some all the DB sets, means the node and entity. This is your DB context, that is you have to write in the repository layer. And how could you know what is user, what is not? Because all the by DB set is also one. You can say this is also one class. Okay, class related thing. In DB set is nothing but the collection of all the entities class, model classes. Like in the list, you can see list syntax is list. The angular bracket we are providing the model classes. Same way DB set is for collection of entities, collection of model entity classes. So DB set in the angular bracket user, then space the name, that is not users is nothing but table name, or here it is object name. Okay, then get set, because in model class for creating some object or initializing some data or information, we are writing this way: get set, public string something get set, or public DB set, or public class. This way you have to create. And if something we are giving the relationship between two entities or providing some which column is unique, which column is greater than 5 or something related to that, we are writing in the protected override void on model creating method, because this is also internal method, no need to confuse. This is already existed. This code also you could find in the C sub corner EF core. Okay, if you search. And model builder dot entity user, because in the user entity in there are so many columns. Like to the email column we are making it is unique. Is unique means the email could not be duplicated. In the first of all you are adding something in the add user API, suppose abc at the gmail.com. The next time while adding that, it will be conflict, it will be not allowing you to do that. So for that purpose we are writing is unique. And coming to node, so currently we are working on node controller. In this node entity, we are using the user ID as a foreign key. Normally, if you have done in the C, your RAB batch, the employee and department table. So department is the foreign key in the employee table. You have already done, and by that foreign key you are able to fetch the department name in the employee table. Select start from employee table, or by using, you can by joining also, by join concept you can fetch department name employee first name, employee last name, salary, everything you can put the foreign key. So here, that's why because we are using entity core approach, so we are using the user ID. User ID is the foreign key, and for fetching the details of user, that's why we are using public virtual user entity class. Okay, virtual keyword everyone know. For other classes information, if you want to use in other another class, then we are using virtual override keyword in C#. The OOPS
Yeah.
concept, it is already there. That's why we are getting. And foreign key, you could pass in the 30 number line in the square bracket foreign key in the double code user. Otherwise, if you don't pass, also it will be working. Okay. So this thing we have done till now. We have written the add note. So Ankit, have you have taken the foreign key that?
Yes, ma'am.
So without a foreign key, it's not working.
It was working, but I took it
Okay.
just.
So everyone is taking foreign key, or without foreign key also it's working.
Ma'am, it is working without foreign key.
Yes, ma'am.
I had written
Yeah,
not.
because it's not needed. Okay. You can
Yes.
write robot also. Yeah. So we have written add user. Add node one part one API. Then we will write the next APIs till now. So can you just run the add node, Ankit, and so also.
Yes, ma'am.
So for add node purpose, we have to first of all authenticate. For authenticate, we are in the login section. We are getting the token. Without authorized, we could not add any node. Okay, because the in the google.com, googlekeep.com side also you can see. Without login in any in the Windows now, if you don't log in, then you are not able to see the node part. That's why we are using it. Okay. And here we are providing the title, description, BG color. Then it will be stored.
Wait a minute, ma'am. Added successfully.
So what happened? What you changed?
This I added this user ID equal to user ID and this one, right?
In the add node.
Yeah. And yesterday I didn't add
See,
this.
33 number line is not needed here. Okay.
Which one, ma'am?
33 number line, because we are creating mentioning the node ID is a primary key, so it will be auto increment.
Okay.
If you not provide the node ID is auto increment, then you have to pass this. You have to generate the object instance.
Yes.
But this not user ID equal to user ID. Okay, that thing I forgot to tell yesterday. Okay, user ID
Yes.
part. Now run it again. Run one more.
Successful.
Successful. Refresh. Reload it.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can see e-spin, e-circuit. These are we have already provided the boolean, so it's 0. That means false. And user ID also storing the 2. I think you are logging with the 2 user ID 2 that email, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Go to user entity. So
This.
second in this one, no?
Yeah. Yesterday I deleted that migration folder, and
And
start.
have you in the login? But have you done the encryption part
Yes.
also?
Where it is. In login part, I don't. Haven't used that.
Where we are encrypting? I think we are not encrypting.
Yeah. I'm encrypting here.
Mm-hmm.
Use this, and in forgot password I used this.
Forget password. Reset password. Okay.
Yeah.
Login. Are you doing login also?
No.
Then I think it will not work, no?
Yeah.
Or working. Or
It's work.
I think you are copying the password.
Yeah. I'm
The
copying
database
from
password.
here,
That is
and
not correct,
yeah.
Ankit. You have to encrypt.
Yeah.
Because every time you don't have the means SSMS access, na?
Yes.
Okay. I am talking about after this project is being deployed. That means at server side. At that time, you
Mhm.
no need to go to database and copy the password. You have to encrypt.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So add note is done. Then and registered date is storing the current date.
Yes.
Okay.
Where it is.
Mm,
Okay. Yes, registered it.
okay. And reminder is that is 00.
Yeah.
Now add note is done. Then next is our get note. So everyone know how to do it. Okay, using HTTP
Yes.
get. And then next is your change color. So just go to iNoteRL.
I note RL.
iNoteRL. Okay. To change color is the simple one. Still, I'm telling you, just write one more method that is probably. No,
Public
Ankit, you have to use task. Currently,
yeah.
from now onwards, you have to use everywhere task. Delete
Task.
also. Okay, next. Task color now. So in color, just take string.
PG color. Okay.
In the bracket, provide int user ID. Then user ID, comma.
User ID. Okay.
You have to know, na? You have to log in.
Yeah. ID, comma.
In
String
the
color.
delete, you have not taken the user ID.
No, I've taken
You have to
note
take,
ID.
yeah.
Okay.
No, without authorized, how could you delete the node?
I've
लॉगिन नहीं
deleted.
करोगे तो कैसे जाओगे कैसे डिलीट करोगे ठीक है in everywhere note level means from now onwards any API any method you are adding you have to authorize part is must compulsory everywhere.
Delete note was working for me using authorize one.
Working means what you have written the logic that's working but
Yeah.
without authorization it's not working means that is beyond the concept. Okay, you have to take it. So task then BG. See, not BG color, change color or change note color. You can write.
Okay.
So for changing the color, we need three things. Okay, First is user ID, another is note ID, another is color. If you take only user ID na, then in the table, note table, see currently you have user ID 2 and there are so many rows. And if you change, then it will be reflected in the every rows. So that's why we are using the user ID also, note ID also. Because note ID is unique. User ID may be multiple na in the because this is a foreign key.
Yes.
Okay, user ID is 2, note ID is suppose 3, and color. In that, suppose the you have the previous color there, you can change the color to something else. Okay. So task string, no string you could not write like this, yes, string. So what you can write, you want to change the color, na?
List or
But
something.
changing the color, okay. Only take this is a change color. Only take the task. Don't because here after task it will not work the int or something. Okay, only you can write the string or something or object or list. Those things you can take. Okay. Now go to the service and implement that.
No.
Before task mention asynchronous S, Y, and C. Okay. In the change color, first of all, we have to check whether that note ID and user ID is matched or not. If it is not null, then we will change the color. Okay. So
Okay.
basically, this API will be put. Okay. So take one object var not equal to undo the object dot press tab user ID and note ID. No, e dot note ID you put right now. E dot user ID equal to that user ID e dot note ID equal to note ID. Why it's showing the error? Check it. User ID. Check this that one. Remove that again. Type na it will suggest you.
Yeah.
E dot user ID and note ID also check. Okay. So enter next line. If note is not equal to null, open and close curly bracket. No dot color equal to that color. No dot color.
And
BG colors equal to your parameter that one.
yeah.
Okay. Then you have to save changes. So just write await
Wait.
then press tab now. Okay. Because we are updating something here. So for updating purpose, save changes. And if you want to return that in response, then we can take the in the task then angular bracket.
Yeah.
Then our note entity directly we can display that. But currently we are taking void. The next in other PN I will tell how to take that also. Okay. But currently you have taken. So save it. Because this is a void type, no need to do also after if also. There is nothing required. Okay. So go to BL, quickly write it so that we can run it You can check.
Ma'am, here I should write await note RL dot change color. हाँ मैम,
This dot use करें.
वैसे भी वो वर्क नहीं हो रहा है. मतलब
Okay, sorry, I was in mute. Okay.
yeah,
So this is you can write or not write also.
yeah, it's not working. So.
And go to controller and write the other thing. No?
Yeah. It is. So just
You given authorize Ankit
yeah.
in the 45 number line, but you are not taking user ID in claim also. Now you are thinking that it's working. Huh?
Okay, I will check
You
that.
have to take. Yeah, you have to take user ID in every BLRL everywhere.
Yeah. Public song.
And for this, take HTTP put. Better if you write HTTP put and change color, because one more you have to write na update node also you can write another API. So that is also
Yeah.
put. So change color. Okay. And in change color you have to put two parameters.
Yeah.
That
And
is
note
first of all write
ID.
na in the 65. Write it in the 65 first.
Yeah.
Change color, then first see always the parameter must be yes, correct. Another is color na, write it color.
Yeah. And
String color. User ID no need to write. User ID will
okay.
take from the claim.
Color.
String color and pass after color in the double quote slash in the curly bracket note ID slash color slash open and close curly bracket note ID.
ID.
After curly bracket another slash.
Another slash.
Again open and color.
Color.
The spelling must be same parameter you
Yeah.
provide. Then do it. And now the delete note too.
It's delete note. Change color था ना.
Same thing, try catch block, copy the try catch block so that you can edit. Copy na, copy. Okay. So, claim but just copy 32, 33. Copy everything in that try class, try block, all the things. Okay. And await this dot note bl dot what? Change it. Dot change color.
Change color.
Parameters is user ID,
ID.
comma, note ID, comma, color.
Note ID. Note ID, comma, colors. Yeah.
Note change successfully, write it.
Else return.
No, why are you written? Already written, no, Ankit?
Yeah.
Uh,
I thought for
so
that.
the code is written. Okay, we can now we can test. Put a debug point and check.
Here
Hmm. But one
and
more thing is here. Wait. Suppose someone is typing the node ID is 10, but you don't have the node ID 10 in your entity. So for
yeah.
that, what we can write? So after
Mm,
70 number line, enter. I'm telling you in this particular API. So in the next thing, you could write the thing. Okay,
yeah.
70 number enter करो. Uh, create take one object of node entity. Create now first. See, same. Do one thing. Go to that RL, not RL, not RL.
Yes.
Copy that 78
78. Okay.
and paste in the container. But you have already written that in the color also. Okay, means RL also the logic. But
Yeah.
we want to just provide one message. So for that, in the change the user ID. User ID to this user ID, na? Hmm. Okay, and then enter next line. If not equal to null, open and close curly bracket. Return this dot bed request. Bracket start. New open and close curly bracket. Success equal to false. Message equal to sorry. This node does not exist. No, don't write this, Ankit. As a developer, you know the given ID is not found, but this message in the content part we have to show.
Note
When
with
you
ID not
want,
found.
when you know third party person, how could they know what is ID, what is not, what is entity?
Okay.
Do you know in the Amazon whole site what is written in the internally how the whole site has been developed? Do you know
No.
anything about that? Or
No.
which Android phone you are using? Do you know which processor, which implementation is using here? No.
Mm,
We are using as a third party person. So
yes.
non-technical person also understood the thing.
Okay.
Like in the other side, when you forget the password or when you type the wrong password, it is saying sorry, the password is wrong. That doesn't they are showing that the password ID or password is not matched to the confirm password or the password must write something else. Only
Okay.
the third party user or the non-technical person end user can understand the thing. That message you have to provide.
Okay.
So, sorry, the node does not exist. That means he understood the
It's
node has not created by himself. Right? No,
Success.
sorry. Then sorry, then explanatory mark. How it is written? Write it
sorry.
properly. Hmm. Explanatory mark. Put explanatory mark.
Success
No, does not
equal
exist.
to
Yes.
false type.
Yeah.
Success equal to false.
Thank you. Fine.
Now run it.
Uh, does it need authorization also? We
Yeah,
didn't use that.
make authorization here also.
हमने use नहीं किया. Okay.
Yeah, use it.
So the color was red for the 11 note ID.
So 11 is not there.
Yeah, it's there, ma'am.
Okay, okay, ठीक है. That's why it is not going inside. Okay, not that null, not
Okay,
the
yeah.
null part. Okay. Go to server.
So note color change is successful,
Check.
and here it's red.
Uh-huh.
Now it's blue.
Okay. So now go to Sagar and put some note ID something doesn't exist in your database.
Okay.
Provide na 11 to array. No. Okay.
Okay.
Now execute. Execute. Click. Next line. Next. Okay. It's
Yes.
going
Yes.
inside.
Yes.
Fine. So this way you can change the color. Like other thing is there. Is archive is for note. Is pin. So for that, what you have to do? You have to create one more API, that is task is archive node. Okay, or only is archive the method name, is archive, is pin, is reminder, is trust. And what you have to provide in the parameter? User ID is the must for authorization purpose. Then note ID. Note ID also, you have to provide. Then only you know what is true or false. So
Yes.
note ID and user ID must compulsory. Then in the archive, and in the is reminder, is trust for is trust. So you have to create four pay separately.
Okay.
And what is the logic? So just create one thing. I will just tell the logic one thing so that you can do in the other way. Okay. Go to IE not RL task is archive node, task archive node into user ID comma
Ask.
archive A capital archive archive note
No.
archive नहीं है archive only archive
Oh, sorry.
archive node. Then what you have to do? Reminder node,
Yeah.
pin node, like that. Okay,
Mm,
note ID
good idea.
comma. So no need to mention also. Why? Because only we are not putting anything in the is archive because it is true or false, na? So if it is
Yes.
false, then we will make it true. And if it
Okay.
is true, then we will make it false. This is the only thing we have to do. So just go to your service and create, implement. Hmm. Asynchronous, write it before task. In the try, yes, copy now from the above one. Copy it, the code. Yes. Just enter. If node is not equal to null, and here you have to write two conditions.
Okay.
Okay. No, not here. Inside that. Hmm. First is what we have to check. Node.is archive equal to true.
No.
Then we have to make it false.
It's
Right?
archive.
No. Another condition, if condition, you have to write it.
Okay. Here.
Hmm. Inside, yeah, inside. If it is
Okay. Okay. Okay.
not null, then we'll go into that. Then you have to check. नोट
If
अगर यूजर आईडी नोट आईडी मैच कर रहा है तो देन उसके अंदर जाएगा तो क्या चेक करेगा? नोट के जो यूजर के कॉलम है वो फॉल्स है क्या? फॉल्स है तो क्या कर देगा? ट्रू कर देगा।
या
जब एक काम करो तुम ब्राउजर में जाओ, गूगल ब्राउजर में, कीप गूगल साइट को ओपन।
सॉरी
So I've created so many. Just click on nothing. I just open that. No, nothing. No issue.
ओके
Open that. Just click any of the note. Double click on the any of the note. Okay. So this is the title and something is okay. So what you can do? Archive. Can you zoom it here a little bit?
नहीं होगा मैम, नहीं होगा।
No. Close it ना. Control plus दबाओ ना.
ओके
System में. हाँ. So archive is an archive icon beside it. हाँ.
या
that one. तो करंटली इफ यू क्लिक इट ना, जस्ट इसको क्लिक कर देने से ये क्या हो जाएगा? इसको ट्रू हो जाएगा आर्काइव। ठीक है, इसका और कुछ मीनिंग है, अगर क्लिक कर दोगे तो ये ट्रू होगा। ट्रू होगा तो क्या होगा? जो पर्टिकुलर लॉगिन नोट है, टाइटल है, दैट विल बी मूव टू द आर्काइव फोल्डर। Basically in the your mail section also you can see some inbox or some inbox mails. If you click the archive, then it will be going to the archive folder and it will be what? It will be undo na? Undo.
Yeah.
You are doing the undo part. Same
Yes.
thing you are doing here also. But the logic behind is, if it is true, then we will make it false. If it is false, we will make it true. So these options we will provide or we will make it. Okay.
यस
So go to your code now. Note is not equal to null. Then write if
इफ
node dot is archive
डॉट इज archive
equal to true.
equal to true.
Enter. Next line.
Okay.
Write it. Node dot is archive equal to false.
Dot is archive equal to false.
And same way write else. Another one. Another if.
Else
No, else नहीं लिखना पड़ेगा। false है तो true है लिखना पड़ेगा। देखो।
if
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 node dot is archive equal to true, then it is false. false है तो true.
so node dot is archive equal to
मैम इसका लॉजिक एक बार और बता दीजिए।
Could not hear. Yeah, just loud your voice, na. If you talk in very slow, then how could you understand?
मैम इसका लॉजिक एक बार और बता दीजिए।
Ankita, your voice is very low. Just loud your voice. Okay. So Ankit, you have written the code. So now
ma'am,
the
it's
next
giving me warning for the await. Yeah, we have to do
why
that
the
part.
warning? Because you have to write na the save changes
Yeah,
part.
save changes
Right.
part. Await
Wait.
undo
Okay.
the context dot save. And let's say
Ankita, if the note is archived, by default it is, suppose in the database, okay, in the entity, if it is true, then you can make it false. If it is false, you can make it true by hitting the API. This is the backend set. In the front end set, if you click the icon, then that will be converted into true. True means what? It will be, the note will be moved to the archive folder. So see, we have written this API, that is fine if it is true or false, but till now in the add node, we are just making it false only, right? We are not providing the false or true, because while adding node, it is not possible to make it false, right? Correct, na?
yes.
So that's why before that we have to write one more API, that is update node. Okay. So in the update node, you can make it if it is false to true or let it be. Then how could you know? If see by default it is false only, then how could you know it is true or not, true or false? So that true, from which API you will get to know? From update node API. So you will create one more API, that is update node. First of all, Okay, update node, task update node. Then there also you have to provide user ID and node ID. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It is done now.
It's done. You have to write it in
Yeah.
real controller. Okay. Next thing.
Okay.
Don't write now. Right now, yeah. Okay. You can write it later. I will tell you the update node part.
Okay.
Enter. 17 के बाद enter करो. Task.
Ask.
Angular bracket. Open and close angular bracket. Space नहीं. Task के बाद
Yeah.
in the response now we will show the part also. See, if you update something, then update response also you will get. That is, this is suppose you are updating the color at a time. At a time, if you want to change the color also and the title also, description also, and is archive. That thing you will do in this particular API, and you will do see in the response part also. Till now, we have not seen in the response part. So, write it. Take note entity. Node entity. The node entity is NOT, I think, capital NOT. Task node space. The method name is change. No, sorry, update node.
No.
Then you have to provide user ID, node ID, and one more is
ID.
that node post model.
ID. Node post model.
So node post model we have already created. There we have only 3, but we have to create another post model, that is node update model. You can create the the model class. In that we have to take all those things. Okay. Otherwise, no, we need another model class. Why? Because this node post model, if you take the is archive other thing also in that, then in the add node part now it will display, and we don't want in the add node part, so we'll get another. Make it na node post model. Sorry, node update model. I'll change now first of all the name.
Where, ma'am?
Make it class name. We'll create another one, yeah.
Post model,
लाइक
no?
नोट. हाँ, पोस्ट मॉडल के जैसे और एक क्रिएट करेंगे, उसको पहले चेंज तो करो यहाँ पे नेम. अरे तो नोट पोस्ट मॉडल को नोट अपडेट मॉडल तो करो.
Okay.
अरे उसको नहीं यार, उसको
नहीं,
नहीं,
जो पैरामीटर
लाइन
वो
नंबर
ऑलरेडी है. और एक अपडेट एपीआई के लिए और एक बनाएंगे. क्यों? क्योंकि अपडेट में हम लोग सब कुछ को अपडेट करेंगे, बट एड नोट के लिए वो दूसरा था पोस्ट मॉडल. बट यहाँ पे सबको चेंज कर सकते हैं. जैसे तुम्हारा गूगल कीप में इफ यू जैसे उसको डबल क्लिक करते हो तो तुम एट अ टाइम सब कुछ चेंज कर सकते हो ना. तो
Yes.
उसके लिए और एक एपीआई बनेगा. तो और एक एपीआई के लिए और एक मॉडल क्लास बनेगा. तो और एक क्रिएट करो, लिखो नोट चेंज और नोट अपडेट मॉडल. देन उसको कॉपी करो, कॉमन लेयर में क्रिएट करो.
अपडेट
नहीं यार, अपडेट
Sorry.
अपडेट मॉडल.
Model.
अरे उसको ऑब्जेक्ट तो दो. ठीक है, अभी क्रिएट करो एक मॉडल क्लास सेम नाम का. अभी नोट पोस्ट मॉडल में जाओ, कॉपी करो सबको, इसमें पेस्ट करो. और क्या चाहिए इसके अलावा? और तुमको इज आर्काइव, हाँ जो भी है नोट से कॉपी करके नोट एंटिटी में जाओ. बाकी जो फील्ड्स है उसको कॉपी करने पेस्ट करो. कितना? इस पिन से इस ट्रास तक. ठीक है. Okay, now go to that. Hmm. Now go to the service. No, that means
Services.
repository and service folder. Class.
Yes. Yeah.
Implement. Okay, go to below. Here, see, task note is already created, and that means our data type is here object. In the employee payroll or address book, we are taking na public directly the model class name employee, then add employee, then parameter. पास कर रहे थे ना उस टाइम.
Yes.
So data type कुछ भी हो सकता है, ठीक है, string, bool, void, and list also, list of entity also, and particular entity also. And before that, just write asynchronous. Every time I have to repeat. Right?
Sorry. Ma'am, it's NodeVL.
What?
So, okay. Nothing.
Because this is return type, that's why it's showing the error. We have to write. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first step is same. First of all, check the var that one. If it is not null, then we'll update. Copy na from the change color that one.
Yes.
Why are you in BL, Ankit? I am telling you in
Yeah,
the
that
RS
is what
section you are in BL.
that is what I'm talking. I mean,
No.
yeah. Okay, wait.
Import that in the interface, otherwise show error. First of all, go to interface. Node import नहीं हुआ है अभी तक.
Okay,
हाँ,
okay,
उसको
okay.
import करो. Okay. लास्ट में जाओ.
किधर गया?
टास्क के पहले एसिंक्रोनस लिखो. ट्राई कैच. ट्राई के अंदर हाँ लिखो वो वार बटन चेक करेंगे पहले. अगर नोट आईडी यूजर आईडी करेक्ट है देन जाके उसको अपडेट करेंगे. नॉट इक्वल टू नल लिखो. इफ नोट इज नॉट इक्वल टू नल ओपन एंड क्लोज कर लीजिएगा. क्या करें इसमें. नोट डॉट टाइटल इक्वल टू.
Dot title.
हाँ वो आ गया ना. प्रेस करो टैब प्रेस करो. प्रेस टैब. सेम उसकी तरह सबको लिखो. नोट डॉट डिस्क्रिप्शन नोट डॉट बाकी जितना है.
Okay. No dot description. No dot. No dot. Model dot. Matter. Dash. No.
ओके देन सेव चेंजेस करो.
Wait.
उसके बाद मैं जो चार्ट में डालू उसको कॉपी करो, पेस्ट करो, बिकॉज यहाँ पे रिटर्न टाइप है हमारा नोट एंटिटी है, दैट्स व्हाई यू हैव टू रिटर्न। एंड बुक स्टोर कंटेक्स्ट के जगह तुम्हारा फंडू कंटेक्स्ट करो, कार्ड टेबल के जगह तुम्हारा नोट करो, यू डॉट यूजर आईडी चेक करो तुम्हारा क्या यू डॉट
इक्वल टू
तुम्हारा यूजर आईडी है जो पैरामीटर में डाल रहे हो, ठीक है। One second, I think I sent for the least part, so you have to show only the object now. या सो इसमें क्या करो, जो वेयर लिखे हो, हाँ नोटेड लिख दिए, ठीक है। इंक्लूड क्यों यूज होता है, क्योंकि जब तुम्हारा जैसे एसक्यूएल में होता है दो एंटिटी को कॉमन करके डाटा फेच करना होता है, तो सिलेक्ट स्टार फ्रॉम एम्प्लॉय नेम, एम्प्लॉय फोन नंबर, देन डिपार्टमेंट नेम फ्रॉम एम्प्लॉय टेबल, कॉमा डिपार्टमेंट टेबल, एम्प्लॉय डॉट एम्प्लॉय डॉट empid इक्वल टू डिपार्टमेंट डॉट empid, और जो भी तुम्हारा कॉमा होगा वैसे करते थे ना।
हाँ
तो देन जाके दो एंटिटी का तुम्हारा डाटा फेच होके डिस्प्ले होता था, बट यहाँ पे लिंक क्यू क्वेरी यूज कर रहे हैं, तो इंक्लूड करके एक बाय डिफॉल्ट इंटरनल मेथड है। तो इंक्लूड में क्या होता है, तुम्हारा जो दूसरा एंटिटी है, दूसरा एंटिटी का डाटा पूरा फेच करने के लिए हम लोग इंक्लूड यूज करते हैं, ठीक है। इंक्लूड एक वो लिंक क्यू क्वेरी का ही है, एंटिटी फ्रेमवर्क का, ठीक है, मेथड। जैसे हम लोग नोट एंटिटी में पब्लिक वर्चुअल यूजर लिए थे, why, because we are fetching the details of particular user, particular node. The node is created by which user, and those users details we want to fetch, we want to see in the response bar. That's why we are taking that virtual, and to display that user details we are using the include method here. Okay,
yes,
so include, all right,
shall I input?
input now first, बी एरो मार्क बी डॉट क्या, बुक तो नहीं है, बुक को पूरा हटाओ, तो तुम्हारा क्या यूजर है ना, तो यूजर नीचे लिखा है उसको हटाओ, अरे पूरा का हटाओ। मैं जो कोड भेजी थी उसमें मैंने दो फॉरेन की था, बट तुम्हारा एक ही फॉरेन की है यूजर आईडी, डॉट डॉट लिखो, आई थिंक कुछ मिसिंग है, क्या मिसिंग है, नहीं वो टू लिस्ट सी, बिकॉज आई थॉट इट इज टू लिस्ट, तो टू लिस्ट की जगह लिखो फास्ट और डिफॉल्ट एसिंक्रोनस, उसको लिखो फाइल, हाँ वो नीचे लास्ट वाला,
या
ओपन एंड क्लोज कर लो, ओके। So this is for only the, suppose we are taking the data to is entity, directly entity class, then first or default. Suppose you are taking the that is what we are taking that list, then you have to write two list asynchronous, okay. Then some error is showing because you are adding this in inside the if, okay. Cut that part and put after the if block, that's what is showing the error. Any return statement you have to put the return, otherwise that's what showing the error. Test it, okay. So this is for your update note. So for update notes, you know, for BL and controller what you have to write, and for that archive also you have to write. First of all, write the update note and that archive note, both everything, just write all the code, then clean the solution, build the solution, and debug it. Then first of all, check at a time, are you able to change the title, description, update color, is archive also or not. Once done, then move to the is archive, and in the is archive, suppose it is 2, then when you click the API, when you hit the API, and you can know if it is converting to true to false or false to true. If it is working, then that is fine. Not working, join the doubt session, okay. We'll discuss.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys. So you can take help from Ankit, or if you taken a screenshot also. Ankit can show all the RLB and all those
Yes,
codes, so you can take a screenshot also. Okay, better to take a screenshot. Okay, if you take means it will time only wasted. So take a screenshot better. Interface RL and entity also. Okay, and Sanjay and Hasada,
Yes, ma'am.
you are not started the code,
Yes, yes.
so just because Ankit is done already up to this, so just Ankit just take help to those. Okay, try to help
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
and take the help from Ankit or anyone else in the team. If you are not getting, then join the dark session because I could not explain more than this here because in one session it is not possible. You must have to join before 1 week. Okay,
Okay.
and Devendra, have you completed user?
No, ma'am, I'm doing, ma'am.
See, one thing I'm telling you, if you're not completing, then why are you not joining yesterday doubt session?
Ma'am,
No, are you thinking you will able to do it? Hmm?
no, ma'am. Doubt session link I don't have, ma'am.
Then you can, why you not asked to anyone?
I'm
कितना पीछे हो तुमको पता है अभी ना? ऐसे करोगे लास्ट टाइम भी वैसे किए थे अभी भी वैसे ही कर रहे हो तुम कभी नहीं खत्म कर पाओगे इसको डाउट सेशन ज्वाइन नहीं करोगे डाउट नहीं पूछोगे हेल्प नहीं लोगे किसी से तो कैसे करोगे कोड
मैम कल सेशन होते थे सब लीव कर दिए मैम मैं पूछने वाला था ग्रुप
क्या क्या
में ऐड करने के लिए मैम मैंने ग्रुप एनीथिंग